Good morning. There is a honeybee. He is absolutely in love with my camera and I can't figure out why. So he's going to be part of this video. I'm going to go cut my lavender and then I'm going to go show you the poet's hut, where the garden cottage is going to go, which also doubles a guest cottage slash office slash seedling area. And then I'm going to give you a tour of the garden as it stands, because pretty soon I'm going to start direct sowing some more seed for the fall garden. Let's go check out this lavender. This is our little seeding area, and this is also plants waiting to be planted. I have boxwood, knockout roses, and elderberry, and they all just look so sad sitting in their containers. This is my garden cottage corner, and it is a work in progress. I put a lot of different things in here that I will be transplanting out into other parts of our landscaping as time goes on and it gets established. And this is where I have the lavender trial, so I'll show you where that is. It's a bit of a mess. Here I started to cut the lavender that's coming through the fence, but I have all of this that needs to be cut, and then I have some things that are getting a little too leggy over here that need to be cut, and it's just very untidy, just the way I like it. I've been cultivating over the last year and a half. It has a beautiful shape now. It's kind of mounding. I will say it is super easy to propagate. This is a Hendicot, I believe, English lavender. Great for zone 7A if that is you. We got a ton of lavender off of this. I mean, that's a lot. So I'll put this in little bundles and hang those to dry. I love drying this hydrangea. You'll see here where it's starting to get a little bit pink on the blossom. That's the best time to pick it, but we'll wait till the dew burns off before I cut it. But this is a beautiful specimen to dry. Over here is a part of the house that I don't show often. We have our two blackberry hills. They are on this winter's agenda to defoliate and tarp, and I will be putting raspberries and blackberries. There are some native blackberries over here by the chicken coop that I do want to keep on this hill, but for the most part all of this has got to die, be solarized and cut out, and these will be so fun. There's a little path in between, and I think this would just be such a fun berry hills, berry feature. But over here is the poet's hut, aka clubhouse, to the younger people that live here, and it's just so cute. This is the same siding that we will be using on the garden guest cottage, and it's been a fun place for my family to enjoy, thanks to the grandparents that decided to come and build it for them. So this is the planned entrance for the garden. I've been working really hard on establishing perennials here that are native and some that are just really good to have, especially some herbs. And then also here on this side, and it will go all the way around till about here, where it'll start coming in to the gardens, this side of the garden. This is the guest cottage. It is not far from where we just were. It's to the back of the garden. The garden will be laid out differently, but here it is, and I forget how big it is. It's also going to have a loft on the inside, and it'll also have a shed off the back so we can put the tractor under there, and it is close to the garden and also to the high tunnel. This is the back of the high tunnel. I had started building little things there, but I've got to redo all of the rock work. That was just kind of a haphazard thing. I tend to do that when I just want some instant gratification. So we're really excited about all the different things we have going on. This is something my husband and I, but mostly my husband, let's be honest, has been working on in the evenings, and we're really excited about it. Really excited about it. So here is the garden. We have corn here in the back. It's just putting out its tassels. The ones on the farther end are further along, still holding on strong with our Swiss chard, doing beautifully. There are a couple of cucamelon vine volunteers, and I've got one that's growing along the fence row right here. That's always fun. I just recently pruned the cucumber vines and the tomato vines. Looks like I have one that needs a little bit of help there. Then we also have squash, still going strong. Okra's doing great. I did have to give this dahlia a little bit of support. And what else we got here? Beans, which need to be pulled soon. Did not do great with the rhubarb. I could not stay on top of the Japanese beetles. That seemed to be their most favorite thing here to attack. But that's okay. There's a couple that are still going strong, and then I have some others starts to put in its place. So we'll see how that can go. But yeah, it's looking really healthy and happy. I love the way that the pine mulch looks in the garden. The flowers are just starting to really pop out. Yeah, that's my compost bucket. I need to empty it. So this right here is something that keeps popping up. I planted it 1 year, and you can see, look for that color. Keep looking for that color in the garden. It has, I've let it go to seed, and it just pops up kind of random places in the garden, but it brings so many pollinators in. So I've been getting blooms galore on everything. It's just done a really good job giving the pollinators somewhere else to land and rest. Yeah. Over there we have some potatoes that have been hilled recently that could use another hilling. And then here's some other potatoes that are just now starting to come up. The squash has done exceptionally well, and I attribute that to regular trimming. There hasn't been any squash bugs yet. I'm very happy with how these have done. Here in the okra, earlier this year, the Japanese beetles did come and take out some of my okra. Healing up really nicely. I tried to remove the leaves from that had the most damage on them. But in the okra, we see the ladybugs attacking the aphids, and it took them 2 days to completely wipe out the aphid population on one of my plants, and I want to show you. This plant here is an okra plant, and you can see all the ants farming the aphids. But over here, she's very shy. Let me see if I can find her. Where is she? There's a lady. There she is. She is one of like 5 or 6 that have been devouring these aphids on this plant. There she is. There is a plant that has, let me see if I can get it. Here's a plant that has aphid damage. They really just kind of suck the sap out of the plant. I just stepped in an anthill. Looks like we have remnants of some that they just build close to the aphids because they can farm their sugar and go straight to their home. I don't typically have ant issues. These ones thankfully have built at the bottom of this lamb's quarters, which is also acts as a trap crop. As you can see, it has this Japanese beetle on it. So if lamb's quarters pops up in your garden, it's an excellent trap crop because the ants are disturbing its roots and the Japanese beetle is trying to eat it instead of my plants. So that's kind of a nice little thing there. that's all I have for today. Not a lot going on. It's kind of where things grow and you harvest as you go along, and you know, hope for the best and stay on top of fertilizing and weeding and all that good stuff. But I did want to let you know that in May 2027, I will be hosting my first antique shopping getaway in Springfield, Ohio. And I am putting a link below if you are interested in that. So it is anyone who loves antiques, anyone who buys and sells antiques. Maybe they are trying to get their home together and not be the oldest thing in their home. This trip would totally be for you.